Virgo, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for mid-October 2023. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we could dip our toes into energy and see what's going on for the lovely Virgo collective. I hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here, my guides. Talk to me. What's happening with these Virgos as we move into my favorite time of the year? So what's happening? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card, then we'll get into the full reading itself, and at the very end I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean in on, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Virgo in mid-October, my gods, please. Let's see what's happening. Thank you. Okay, beautiful creativity, which is something I've been seeing for a lot of signs recently. Could be a lot of mental activity as well. Not surprising here, but if you look at all the images here, the arts, the sculptures, the art model, there's just so much creative power, and I feel like you might have had this in recent weeks as well. Now, before we fully dive into that, Virgo, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the October subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. Also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, into the reading. Let's talk about this card. So once again, you see the various different creative pursuits that are here. It's like we have writing, we have books, we have sculptures, we have paintings, we have the art model. So there is a lot of creative juices flowing here front and center for the Virgos, which can be very good. This could be Spirit just telling a lot of you like, hey, right now, any creative pursuit, any sort of self-expression is highly favored for you, whether it's for business or whether it's a hobby. Now, for another portion of you, this could just really indicate a very active imagination in this time. So a lot of Virgos, you might just have a lot going on in the brain. You might be thinking about a lot of things. It just feels very lush to me in the mental space. So I always say this card reminds me of water sign energy. So Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer. So maybe you're connected to one, maybe you're having certain things with a water sign. But to me, this is absolutely Spirit saying like, all right, you need some sort of outlet for all that inner energy. Because when it comes to thought, when it comes to emotion, if there's no outlet or way to express it, that's when it could build up into anxiety and stuff like that. But let's just put that over to the side. As I always say, that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. Let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into the intuitive juiciness. So let's shuffle it up one time here for my lovely Virgos, my guides. And while we get this deck ready, let's talk about last week's reading, because it was quite different than what I normally get for the Virgo collective. Usually your messages are very straightforward and to the point. Last week's reading was titled Proceed with Caution. Okay. So whatever situations you're dealing with, whatever it is you might be going through, it was in multiple areas of the spread where Spirit was saying like, okay, Virgo, take your time, don't rush, proceed with caution, literally. That was showing up in like multiple alignments within the spread. So remember, that energy could still bleed over into this week. I would say slow and steady wins the race, right? You're an earth sign. There's no problem with that. Just keep your head on a swivel. That's the big thing. But let's see what we have for you this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone, so only take this how it hits for you. Because we could be seeing your vibe or someone you're linked to. Let's get you 3 cards, though. What's happening with Virgo? Thank you. All right, so now we're starting with speed. Interesting, when I give that whole speech about proceeding with caution, and we're starting with the Knight of Swords. Okay, this energy is coming in real fast. Okay, whether that's your energy or someone else's, it's moving. It's moving. Okay, 5 of Swords. Okay, not a fan, because both of these cards could be very, very conflict based. Let's get one more. It's like they're battling. I might have a warning here this week. That's possible. 2 of Wands. Okay, slower. Now I just need to mention here, Virgo, elemental. You know, we'll get into that, but you see how this energy's looking and feeling. Let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes before we get into the juicy intuitive stuff. So at first look, first glance, let's analyze and look at the different elements we have here. Notice we have the double swords, which is mental energy. It could also be communication. That air energy is very powerful here. We also have fire, the 2 of Wands, even though that's not a very active energy. Both of these are extremely active. This one is standing put. Okay, so there might be something waiting or some sort of anticipation showing up here, but the air and fire mixture, we're gonna have to keep a close eye, because let's do the one by one. Position number one, the Knight of Swords. So you might just be connected to an air sign. So Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. If you are not, this is one of the fastest moving cards in the whole entire deck. It is shooting towards something like a rocket. It's coming in hot, right? Whether it's a person, a thing, an energy moving towards you, or you moving towards an energy. The Knight of Swords could represent travel. It could represent distance as well. And although it is fast moving, and although this is a card that has a lot of action and speed connected to it, it could also be confrontational. You know, when we look at the rougher side of this Knight of Swords, it could be someone who's looking for a fight, looking to pick a fight. So especially next to the Five of Swords, this is something to watch out for, because it's feeling a little conflicted, and that's why I'm saying there might be a warning depending, because with the fire-air combo, two combative cards, we're, once again, similar to what we saw last week, I'm a little cautious with the energy that we have here, okay? But we'll see when we clarify it. Remember, it could also come out very good. That could speak about things moving forward or getting better. But in position number two, this is where we're going to have to be a little more cautious. We have the Five of Swords. And this could mean a lot of different things. You see the imagery here. We have this person. They have all the swords. They are the winner, chicken dinner. The two people behind them, they look beaten down. They look like they've lost something. So I always say with this card, like, beware of individuals that are very self-centered. Beware of confrontational people. This could represent certain individuals that are just looking out for themselves and their own well-being, which doesn't always have to be a bad thing. It depends like how you do it. But when I see it next to another confrontational card like this, it's giving me pause, and there might be a little bit of a warning, whether it's about a person or a situation here. And it's positive. The Five of Swords could just represent, you know, self-work, self-love, self-care, like looking out for yourself, but in a positive way. There's also determination with this card as well, but I would say this card leans towards the more aggressive. Okay, so beware of certain conflicts, beware of certain situations when this card shows up, and specifically individuals, okay, because it's right next to this Knight of Swords. It's like this one's watching that one. Well, it's giving me odd feelings here already, Virgo, but we'll get to it. I mean, in its worst case scenario, it could represent individuals that are a little narcissistic, like so self-centered. So whether that's someone from the past or current. Moving to the back end, this is where we get a big change in the energy. We have the Two of Wands. But there's a little bit of a caution here as well. Yes, it's of the fire element, and you see this person. All twos in tarot could represent partnerships. They could represent decisions. They could represent choices. This one has a bit of a different flavor, though. This one has strategy. So whereas it can represent choices and decisions, stuff like that, it could be somebody strategizing. This could represent somebody planning something. So this could even be somebody waiting around. So while all this action is happening, all this stuff's happening here, there might be somebody just like waiting on a result. That's possible. But the fact that there's like possible strategy and planning here, that's something we're really going to want to watch out for, especially with the Five of Swords and the Knight of Swords. So there is that aspect that's making me pause a little bit. Once again, this could also represent distance. It could also represent travel. So we have a lot of similarities here, but once again, very cautious. I want to dive deeper into all of it. Let's jump in and clarify. All right, let's get a good shuffle here for my Virgos, please. Yes, my friends, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on that Knight of Swords. And yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages that you want to give to Virgo, drop it down below. I don't mind whatsoever. All right, Knight of Swords. Why is that Knight of Swords here for Virgo, please? Really want to see what's up with the other stuff, too. Thank you. Okay, Tower in reverse. Oh, okay. Now, you do know that towers represent shock, whether they're in the upright or in the reverse. There is somebody like trying to avoid something here, possibly, which is giving me even more pause for what's happening as we move forward. So this could be a warning about like shock and surprise, absolutely, when we have this up front. Now, towers can generally represent things that have already happened or have elapsed. Sometimes this alignment, I feel like it could be someone who's like trying to outrun their past or run away from their past in one way or another. But I do believe this is very avoidant, okay, which could be good, right? For some of you, depending on what you're going through, who you're dealing with, avoidance might be the route. Like, try to avoid this, try to avoid the situation, try to avoid even getting, muddied up in that. That's a possibility. But I do feel like there is a warning here about tower energy, because once again, the fire air up here, it's explosive. Now we have a tower showing up. It's a very clear warning, whether it's of shock, of surprise, or the explosive energy that we've been seeing. But I feel the main two things here underneath this Knight of Swords, if you don't have an air sign from your past, represents, once again, someone trying to avoid a tower, avoid this shock, like, oh, I've seen this before and I don't want to go through it again, or just keep your head on a swivel, that's for sure. I do feel that you're protected, though. Regardless of what's happening, regardless of what's going on, remember, this could be other people's energies, and I do feel like you're protected, but there's just a lot of combustible energy here, Virgo, that just keep your head on a swivel, okay? Let's keep pressing forward, because once again, we have to see what that Five of Swords is about. We need to see what that possible strategy is on the back end. We'll take that warning for what it is. We don't need to overcomplicate it, right? So let's see why that Five of Swords is here for my Virgo friends. And obviously only take it if it hits, right? Death card in the upright. Not a big fan of this, my friends. This feels like someone who is a little bit grudgy. It feels sour. It feels bitter here in the center. Okay, now the Death card could represent the zodiac sign of Scorpio. If you're a cross-watching Scorpio, I'm not calling you out. Trust me, I'm a Scorpio moon. I'm part of the collective, all right? But the Death card is your card, and under like a combative card like the Five of Swords. I was getting this for another sign earlier this week as well, where there might be somebody who's really holding on to something that's already happened or elapsed. It's like, okay, I'm not letting this go. Like, you're gonna pay, like, type of energy. And I'm trying not to be a fearmonger. I'm trying not to be scary, trust me. But this is someone who is like not forgetting about something, okay? And it does feel a little bit bitter, and it feels confrontational. Okay. Now, one thing I can say about this Death card, it can represent, if we're looking for a positive message here, only take it if it applies somebody who's coming out of an ending into a new cycle of renewal. So some of you might be very dedicated to a new way of living, a new way to conduct yourself, a new life in general. And if that's the case, that's very good. A lot of you could be moving into a new cycle, because remember, the Death card is very karmic. Same could be said with the Tower. Both of them are Scorpio energy. That's about change and transformation. But I have to say, like, with all this power, there is still warnings to be had here within this spread that I would take seriously. Okay, I really would. Remember, this card gets a bad reputation. It can be a good thing. So I feel like in the center it could be good, but it could also be a bit of a warning, right? There might be someone who is a bitter individual about something. So we're going to keep moving over. Let's see what's happening with that Two of Wands, and we'll do a quick recap before we get into the Shadow card. So why is that Two of Wands here for Virgo? And you've had a pretty good string in recent weeks where there's been like a lot more positive than challenge, but now it seems, especially with last week's reading, like proceed with caution. Now we're getting all this stuff. It's like, just keep your head on a swivel, okay? Be cautious. Why is that Two of Wands here for Virgo? And you could be going through towers and endings and changes. That's absolutely possible. Thank you. Okay. This could be indicating a family member or a living situation, possibly. We have the Ten of Cups in reverse underneath this Two of Wands. Yeah, there's someone here who is definitely not happy. I could have told you that here in the very beginning as well. The Ten of Cups in reverse could, I feel like this is someone who feels like they've lost something in a very big way. Okay, that's just the vibe I'm picking up. And I hate to be such a downer. Usually I love in a reading when, like, yeah, there's challenge, yeah, there's ups and downs, but sometimes we get like a really good happy ending here. It's not showing up in this week's reading, and that's okay. We all go through cycles like this. But the Ten of Cups in reverse, it's somebody who is not emotionally fulfilled, or someone that feels like they've lost quite a bit. So when I see it underneath a card like this Two of Wands, like with the planning, with the little bitterness, with the Tower, I do say, like, this whole spread should be taken seriously as a warning. It should. Especially if you know there's someone you're connected to, or like, you know they hold grudges, or you know that they could hold on to something for a very long time, or if they're upset. I mean, I'm not going to call anything into existence for you. I mean, I did say in the beginning, I feel like you're a protected individual, but whether this is one person feeling this way or two people that are not happy about something, just it's not sitting right. But I have to say, once again, with the 2 wands, the 10 of cups in reverse, I would say beware of certain people's plans and strategies. Like somebody could be planning something here and it doesn't feel the nicest. Okay, so I would take this spread seriously. But let's go through and do a quick recap before we get into the shadow card. Definitely going to want to see a shadow card this week, Virgo. But if you kindly look in the box, I mean, remember, once again, if this wasn't hitting for you, if you don't want to claim this energy, it's all good. Watch your other alignments. But in position number 1, we have the Knight of Swords with the Tower in reverse. It was giving me the vibe of somebody trying to avoid something. There was a little bit of an avoidance, like, yeah, I'm going to dodge this tower. I'm going to make sure it doesn't happen. I've seen this before. I'm not going to go through it again. But this does feel like a warning, right? And a warning that should be taken seriously about different types of shocks and endings and stuff like that. Like, I feel like it's serious. Moving to the center, we have this combative energy, which could be taken good or as a big caution. We have the 5 of Swords with the Death card in the upright. Felt very grudgy to me, like somebody's holding on to something. They're not happy. They're quite upset about it. They're not letting it go. That's like a vibe I was picking up. They are not letting something go. Now, for a portion of you, if we're talking about the new karmic cycle you're moving into, which could be it, you could be very, very single-minded, dedicated to a new way of living or a new way of acting. Like, there's a big focus on the self. But moving to the back end, we have the 2 of Wands with the 5 of Cups in reverse. Yeah, somebody just really not happy. It could be someone who feels like they've lost something, and there could be plans and there could be strategy afoot. So I would beware of this energy for sure with how this whole thing has laid out, Virgo. So please take a screenshot of that if you want to look into it further. Let's get a shadow card going. Let's see what's in the shadows for Virgo, please. Guides and spirit team. And yeah, if you made it to this point in the video, Virgo, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll leave a link for it down in the comments below. Always doing nice, interesting bonuses and things for the beautiful channel members. So obviously no pressure, but it's there if you'd like to support. Let's get you a shadow card. Let's see what's happening. Whether it's within you, whether it's something you don't quite see. Thank you. Chariot. Yeah, this fast moving. Fast moving. For some of you, this could be spirit telling you like, okay, keep moving, keep going. Another card that could be distance or travel when we have the Chariot. For a portion of you, this could be representing somebody that falls under the sign of Cancer, the Cancerian collective. And this is, once again, a determined forward momentum fast type of card. The fastest card when we have the Chariot. But remember, chariots are an instrument of war. So for some of you, maybe avoiding something for the time being is a good thing. That's absolutely possible. But when we have the Chariot, this is more of like a head-on type of energy where it's someone that faces something down. So yeah, I would say still beware of conflict in this time because it's a possibility with the Chariot, especially in the shadows. But it is also a shot in the arm from Spirit telling you like it's okay. Just keep going, keep moving, keep pressing forward. I just wouldn't go as fast. Right? Once again, proceed with caution. I feel like that's been going on for weeks now, Virgo. So my friends, that's what I have for you this week. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the October subscriber surprise. If you got your name in for the September subscriber surprise, the winners will be announced after this week's fire and air readings. But for October, I'll be going back to one of the classics. I'll be giving away 2 copies of the Everyday Witches Tarot. It's one of the most beautiful decks out there. So if you'd like to get your name in for this, it's 2 simple things as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed. Second, let me know down in the comments if there's a zodiac sign that you clash with. If so, which signs do you kind of bump heads with? You'll be entered to win, and at the end of October, your name will be announced in the community tab, my friends. As always, much love, and I'll see you next time.